Hello, 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 and welcome my Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. I am your reader, Mark Angelo. Lyons Mel for short, president of Jarring the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Pisces Moon, bringing you your twin flame reading for April 2020, or timeless, whenever you are supposed to be seeing this. If you are new to the channel, please do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, and or commenting in the comment section below, because I do like the feedback as a Pisces moon. Feeling all sorts of everybody's everything nowadays, as us empaths are used to doing, sort of, not on this scale, but we're coping, right? Check out some of the live streams I'm doing at 11 a.m., 11 p.m., reaching out and helping people as often as I can, while sequestered at home with my cats, who are starting to circle around me like panthers because they think it's dinner time. Not for another hour and a half. But that's what happens when they see you all day long, isn't it? Human servant that I am. So let's get down to biz, shall we? My Myrrh family, my fishy school family. This is a general read, right? Please take what resonates, leave what does not, like telling that to a Pisces. You don't need to do that. They pretty much take what resonates and leaves what doesn't, but do check your other signs as well. Sometimes different signs give you different angles in a reading, certainly, but this is a little different this time around. Yes, it's a twin flame reading, but if you've been following me for a while, you may notice this reading's a little bit shorter than what I usually do. I can go on for at least an hour looking at a twin flame contract, because that's a lot of what I've been doing in my career for decades. People coming to me with relationship stuff, right? Well, this one's a little bit different because upload times have been a little ridiculous. Everybody on the internet stressing the bandwidth, whatever that's called. I have no idea what that's about. But my friends are telling me that's what it is. So rather than drive myself crazy, I've just asked them for a shorter read. And they gave it to me in what is called a twin flame teacher read, because twin flame contracts, like soulmate contracts, are soul contracts. Other than that, they're not that much alike. A twin flame is a turbulent, transformative, tricky, triggery, teach you how to love yourself relationship. Either the other person can't give it to you, or it's just love you're supposed to give yourself, learning how to heal yourself. Where in a soulmate, you help each other heal. You love each other. It's more symbiotic. It's often simpler, but doesn't often have that Zazazoo factor that some of us Generation Xers kind of enjoy. Mark, what's your type? I don't know. Let's see. Substance abuse problem, bad credit score, and a neck tattoo? Twin flame. Probably somebody's soulmate, just not mine, right? So let's get up in this gig. We are going to be looking at this twin flame contract like a contract raised by a lawyer, as I was. Party number one, party number two, divine feminine, divine masculine. Those terms are not about bodily gender. They are about spiritual electromagnetic dynamics. So if we said divine yin and divine yang, some people would get it, but this is YouTube. They all apparently speak the language of divine feminine, divine masculine. So we cope and adapt, don't we? So take a nice deep breath. I will do the best that I can to get you as much clarity, guidance, and grace as I can. Keep in mind, twin flame contracts are not always romantic sexual. My dad and I were a twin flame contract. God rest his soul. Didn't mean we didn't love each other. Just mean that we could never give each other what we really wanted in terms of who we were meant to be. Necessary for me to become the mate of my own soul, to learn how to love myself. And I'm a pretty good soulmate, gotta say, in all different ways, shapes, and forms, especially as a reader helping people heal. Take a nice deep breath. Because all the decks that I read are in the description box below, but we're going to start with two, count them, two, from the Carolyn Mace Archetype deck, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine. Take a nice deep breath, please. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, two cards. One for the Divine Feminine and one for the Divine Masculine in this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for April 2020 or timeless, whenever they are meant to see it, please. Help us figure out what are the soul powers being alchemized here in each of them individually. One for, Divine Feminine, there you are. Felt you poke me in the hand, and please, one for the Divine Masculine, my collective pantheons. Thank you. Pretty quick. Usually that says this is going to be, if not simple, easy. If not easy, simple. Okay. Well, remember that archetypes are neutral, right? They're not positive, they're not negative, but in this deck they describe both the shadow and the light attributes, giving you an indication of what each of you is healing or learning how to heal within yourself in this twin flame contract. The Divine Feminine has the Shapeshifter. I know, Shadows of Sam Merlot. Good God, wasn't he cute? True Blood. The shadow attribute of the Shapeshifter. Projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. 2-face, 3-face, 4-face, 5-face. You get what I'm talking about, right? It's like, so in a room full of certain people, you're one of those certain people. And in another completely opposite group, you're one of those too. So there's nothing wrong with being a social chameleon. That's the positive side of it. We'll get to that. But the thing is, they're your own personal agenda, your agenda. Keep an eye if you are the Divine Feminine. You might not know yet. You might want to hear this one too. But if you pretty much predominantly consider yourself a Divine Feminine, as I do with the Pisces Moon, Shapeshifter. The positive side, if you like, the light attribute, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness. Check. Ability to see potential in everything. Double check, particularly with men who have some sort of abuse or what did I say? Substance abuse problem, bad credit, neck tattoo. I can see the potential in anyone, particularly if they're hot and they have an accent of any kind, apparently. Good, right? Know thyself? Yeah. So that shapeshifter thing, really the positive side of that for the Divine Feminine is being able to meet people where they're at. Right, that's very, very a powerful skill to develop over a lifetime. The being able to be like social chameleon in that sense of kind of resonating with other people. As Pisceans, we can do that empathically, emotionally, vibrationally. But it can really devolve into the shadow attribute with a personal agenda where you're trying to get over on somebody, essentially being duplicitous and not putting your true authentic self first. Tricky. But not that the Divine Masculine is any easier. We've got the magical child archetype. Now, everybody has the child archetype. It's a survival archetype. All of us were children. Even if you're a walk-in, the body that you're in. Let's not talk about walk-ins. Walk-ins welcome. No. Here we're talking about the magical child. Not everybody has the magical child archetype. I've got a good touch of it. Let me read you this one. The shadow attribute. Pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Been there, done that, have the burnt book of shadows. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Absolutely, before I started my own company, but then you start working for yourself. You're casting and you're working 24/7. So I can relate to both of these. The light attributes, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all. Seeing the potential in everything. So there's a thing of potential here that they share. The belief that everything is possible, right? Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. Now, in these times, that we are in, being very cautious how I talk about this, to dance around the subject a bit. I'm good at it. I'm a dancer. The shapeshifter and the magical child can have that in common in terms of sort of like having trouble finding the silver lining. And usually the silver lining comes out later. We really do have to go through what we're going through. This is a scary time we're in, no question. It's also why I'm doing 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Time the chats on my YouTube channel so that people can reach out and find some brotherhood, sisterhood, fellowship, whatever you want to call that. So that they can shapeshift, see things in the better perspective, right? To see the potential in all things. But the shadow side of this, I don't think there's any way of getting around for the magical child because pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, very easy to fall into that right now. So this could really be an opportunity for both of them to really evolve in a time where our, let's say, external stimulus is sort of pushing us in that direction if we see it that way, right? Like it's all happening for us, not to us, but that is not immediately acceptable to the ego mind, right? So we're going to keep going. Rather than pull an angel card, a god card, and a goddess card, I'm going to get all three in one deck with the angels, gods, and goddesses oracle. Really cool deck. Like I said, all of them are in the description box below. This one's a little direct, this deck. I kind of like it. Sort of like, your mother. Like that kind of direct. Nice deep breath, please. My angels, gods, and goddesses, please, 2 cards. One for the divine feminine shapeshifter here, and one for the divine masculine magical child here, very Harry Potter. In this Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for April 2020 or timeless, please. My angels, my gods, and my goddesses. One, please, first for this divine feminine shapeshifter. I like these cards. They come out very easily. And one, please, for this divine masculine magical child archetype. Now, before I go any further, regardless of what any of these cards say, I want to reiterate, this need not be a romantic sexual twin flame at all. Particularly with a shapeshifter and a child, this could very easily be parent-child. And don't kid yourself, you can have a twin flame relationship with a parent or a child. Work, trust me. And even if it is romantic sexual, remember this, everybody has the child archetype. It's not that other. You with me? Good. Just because we're Pisceans, let's be clear. So we've got the divine feminine shapeshifter with the angel of pleasure. Take pleasure in the things that you do. Apparently walking around naked with your wings and water wings. But again, need not immediately talk about sexual, sensual pleasure. Sensual pleasure can be taking a shower, taking a bath, anything involving the senses, listening to music, right, hearing, etc. Snuggling up in bed with 3 little black kitty boys, who are my baby panthers, who snuggle and purr and pin me down under the covers. I love it very, very much. Very much taking that pleasure there. So call to the angel of pleasure. Take pleasure in the things that you do. And certainly if you are sequestered where you live, watch how many ways I can say this, that this is something that you can do for your own healing. This is something you can do for yourself instead of waiting on this divine masculine magical child, whatever shape of the relationship, to come and do it for you, because they're really good at that too. Like, they're really good at making people laugh, and trust me, I'm one of them. Oh, well, but for the divine masculine magical child, I'm kind of into this god, the god of conflict resolution. Look at him. Got like a violet teardrop on his third eye. I'm gonna kiss it, make it better. Kind of cute for a drawing. God of conflict resolution, you are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. Oh, snap. Well, I hope you're not sequestering together in the same area, because where you gonna go? You're being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. Now, walk away doesn't necessarily mean end the relationship. Hard to do with family, just gonna say. Nor in these times is it necessarily recommended. Now is probably not the best time to move out. But I am gonna say the vibe there is saying to just like step back, right? Walk away, go within, tend to that child, because the child, if it is pessimistic, depressed, doesn't believe in miracles anymore because it didn't get what it wanted, the world is just where the world is, very much need to learn how to nurture and love that child, letting it have the emotions that it has without it, what? Driving the show. There's a difference between feeling your emotions and being possessed by them. A genuine, tenuous balance, I'll be the first to tell you as a Pisces moon. However, being that this is about conflict resolution, what are the chances that the ultimate conflict is within yourself, between the ego and the soul, between the adult in you and the child in you? That there's an opportunity here to alchemize that shadow into light, the lead into gold, in terms of really seeing the potential of this relationship in terms of being a teacher for you. But I certainly get that you are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict, particularly if it is abusive, neglectful, codependent. Like if you're being physically hurt, emotionally hurt, spiritually hurt, mentally hurt, right? Like just abuse or neglect in that way, where you're really in a high toxic situation, reach out and ask for help, because sometimes Even in situations like we're in now, there's no place else to go but somewhere else than where you are. And that's horrible, and that child in you might be terrified by that. If you are the divine magical child, the magical child archetype, the divine child is similar but not the same. So while the shapeshifter is taking pleasure in what they do, you're kind of like wanting to get out of Dodge. So that's an interesting thing. Let's keep going though. Let's build on that. With the Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves of all involved, one for each. Ready? Breathe. I just had one of my guides say, isn't it good to not be in a relationship right now? I'm like, yeah, this one isn't about me. I ain't walking away from shit because I'm good where I am. I guess I could be the shapeshifter taking pleasure with what I do, but it ain't like that 24/7. So let's have a look, shall we? Breathe. The higher selves of all involved, possibly my own included. 2 cards, please. One for the divine feminine shapeshifter and one for the divine masculine magical child in this Piscean collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contracts for April 2020 or timeless. Just picking up on this. Please, 1 card in clarity, please. Higher self collective, 1 for this divine feminine shapeshifter and 1 for this divine masculine magical child. Help them with this. What is it that they're supposed to do to learn, to heal, to grow, etc.? Divine feminine shapeshifter. Angel of pleasure. Can't beat it. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. So look, it might come, it's very interesting, it might come down to you, divine feminine, to kind of sense what's going on here with this magical child and just take some sort of action to just be like, look, it's okay, let's de-escalate. This will work itself out in its own way. Now is not the time to jump to conclusions. It's okay. We can talk about this when we're ready to talk about this, right? That your actions, it might be through communication, because you might be, as the shapeshifter, riding other frequencies, other bandwidths of did I say bandwidth? Frequency bands is what I meant, of experience spiritually. Where this magical child might be really going through, they're seeing through a lens darkly, maybe even dark night of the soul. I'm sure a lot of people are dark nighting left, right, and center, particularly if they have no context. I highly recommend people read at least the poem by St. John of the Cross, I think, or St. John of the Divine. They're all Johns. To me, The Dark Night of the Soul. At least read the poem, if not the treatise, the book. Kind of get that though things seem very dark, we are sitting in the palm of the hand of the divine the whole time. We're actually being transformed. That was Carolyn Mace who said the words to me first, not directly, through an audio she did about the dark night of the soul, saying that dark nights of the soul are when your life catastrophizes beyond any ability for you to fuck it up that badly. Obviously, I editorialized. I've never heard her say the F word, at least not on a recording. Sounds true. Hay House probably wouldn't put up with that, although from her, they probably would. I love Carolyn Mace. I hope she's well. Been loving watching her streams on Facebook. Let's look what's going on here with this magical child, with the god of conflict resolution. Funny, the word resolution for me doesn't always mean walk away, unless that's walk away and walk into the self. The higher self here says miracles and blessings, everything has its gift. So if you are the divine masculine Pisces here, the magical child, sure, take action, step back, but so that you can get in touch with the more spiritual aspect of this. That is saying, from your higher self, miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. Now, it's okay to think that's horseshit. It's certainly a pessimistic point of view, and I get it for where the world is right now. I've been feeling waves of it myself, but I know as an empath it's not mine. It just happens to be passing through my energy field so it can be felt and healed. But from that place of really stepping back and saying, okay, you can be a little bit of a brat about it if you like, a little shadow child. All right, if it's such a gift, show me the gift so I can unwrap it. And don't be surprised if the universe takes you at your word and says, okay, well, look at this. And look at this, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this. And that's where it's going to be, where the child is going to say, well, the child's going to have the choice as to whether to say either "oh" or "so." Right, there's the free will part of it right there. But you have that message from the higher self magical child, right? Because what is it in here? Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible, which would reinstill the belief in miracles that in the shadow has disbelief. Everything's a blessing. I know it don't look that way until later, but that doesn't mean you can't embrace the possibility of a blessing or a miracle while we're going through this. My guides told me this morning, as a matter of fact, you can keep praying and asking for miracles, but we promise you they've been underway for a while. You're in the middle of one right now. And I was like, all right. Like, all right, we're not in charge of this, are we? We can only ask to be shown the miracle that's already in play that we may not see. So that's the two of them, right? Individually, what's going on. This center lane, as I like to call it, is more about the relationship itself, what they are both being taught in this relationship, whether they're teaching each other, one to the other, or just the environment of the contract itself is teaching them both. Nice deep breath. As these next two decks are the voices of the Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts. I love them all so much. So please take a few deep breaths as I ask them. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, using this Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. Half of the deck is the suit of the problem. The rest of it, the other half, are the cards of luck, the cards of healing, and the cards of grace. Please, let's start with just one card here. What is going on in this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for April 2020 or timeless? Please, first card down. We're looking at the card of betrayal. Now that betrayal can be literal, symbolic, real, or perceived, depending, because oftentimes it has to do with us betraying ourselves, of not listening to the truth we already sensed, and we went against it, and then, we ate the meal, now we got to pay the check. But if there really is a betrayal here, because certainly in this picture it's depicted as a romantic thing. Well, the guy is with one woman in the center of the card, he's got his eye on somebody else, reaching out to her, right? So, like infidelity, a betrayal, but doing something behind someone's back, which would absolutely indicate shadow behavior. Either side could be doing that. Let's go a little bit deeper than that. One more, please. This is where it really could be 8 to 12 cards. I'm not leaving you on a problem card. Breathe. My Ascended Masters, Twin Flame Contracts. Next card, please. Naughtiness. Definitely a word of the child. Our adults naughty? Children are naughty. That there might very well be something shadowy, something hidden going on here. Maybe this relationship is behind somebody else's back and you just can't be together because you're not hunkering down with the person you want to be with. And therefore, with the Angel of Pleasure and the God of Conflict Resolution, that would make sense if that's how it's playing it out. Either that, or there is a betrayal going on in the relationships that you have right now, and somebody is sneaking out. Now, this can also be betrayal to the self. I have to go there as well. That what's going on in this relationship where you know better, where you're betraying your own honor code, where you're betraying your own guts. Like I said initially, it's like I feel this feels wrong, but I have to do it. I'm getting you one more for this. I can't leave you with just naughty betrayal, although that kind of speaks it quite a bit. One more, my Ascended Masters, just to clarify this. Just one more. What else is going on here? As a result of loss. So look, loss is a wound that nobody escapes. Everybody has to deal with loss. Loss of money, loss of health, loss of friends, loss of family, loss of lovers. But ultimately, since we're all dealing with a loss of freedom in one way, shape, or form, there might be this naughty impulse. Now, naughty in this deck is one of the luck cards. So I'm not getting that this is incredibly lucky if it really means betraying someone or yourself. I understand the temptation, but that's why I'm really glad I'm single through all of this. It's not an easy thing, but I know I ain't betraying nobody. I know that I'm not going against my honor code. I know that I'm doing the best that I can, and that's nice for me. But to really look at what is this betrayal about, and that underneath it is the pain of loss, one of the 4 ego wounds. Abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. And if there is a codependent thing where you are together and dealing with this, the temptation to be naughty, to betray. And what if it's not romantic sexual betrayal? What if it's not that kind of relationship at all? What if it's about betraying confidences? What if it's about gossiping and sharing the secrets of the people that you are hunkering down with? A betrayal, perhaps, of family tribal law, which sometimes can be a healthy thing. But with that card of naughtiness, though, there's a real understanding that what you're doing isn't of the highest and best for your good or anyone else's. And apparently my cell phone, which I thought I shut off, disagrees, or agrees. One more card down, then we'll look at the larger picture. Nothing like a twin flame read. Nice deep breath. We are going to ask the same ascended masters that brought you betrayal, naughtiness, and loss for a healing mantra card that either one of you can do. The more you do it, the more you are signaling to your soul, to the masters, to the angels, to all y'all in spirit, I'm willing to heal. I'm wanting to heal. I'm going to do this mantra silently or aloud to trigger something within my own energy fields, my own conversation between my soul, my personality, my inner child, and my ego to do some healing work here. Nice deep breath. My ascended masters of twin flame contracts, please, one card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Piscean collective? Sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Come here. Twin flame contract involving this divine feminine shapeshifter and this divine masculine magical child. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, please. What is the perfect healing mantra for them, no matter who says it, for the period of April 2020 and beyond, or timeless? Please, my ascended masters, there we go. One side of the card has the name of the mantra, the other the mantra itself. That's all that's written on the card. I'll use the name of the mantra to look it up in the bookie book. Asking for angelic support. This card comes up a lot because I think it's the best that we can do sometimes, is really turn to a higher power and ask for not rescue so much, but support. My angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel. Now, for a water sign like Pisces, how you feel might be changing, but you can be very authentic about it. Well, one minute I'm feeling this way, and then the next minute I'm feeling that. And then one minute I'm feel like it's all going to work out and that miracles are happening like everywhere. And then 20 minutes later, I am in the pits of hell in terms of depression, right? Not necessarily bipolar, but I think if you're empathic, you're feeling all of that. You could be feeling that from different groups of people, one side of the block to the other, right? So to ask your angels for support in this way, my angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel, opened right to the page. I think you might find some relief in here, some guidance and grace as a result. This is a long one. When asking for angelic support, you are requesting solutions from a higher realm of consciousness, obviously. Angels, and by the way, if you don't work with angels, talk to gods, masters, ancestors, what have you. Such a realm of consciousness works in accordance with free will to help you face your experience instead of helping you avoid them. In other words, this is part of your curriculum. This is part of a twin flame contract that you signed up for before you came into this life. In other words, you're the soul that was chosen to play the role in this body with this name, that this is just what's written into the script for you in this other. Rather than believe the cause of your feelings must be changed or eliminated, in other words, get rid of them, get me somebody new, it is essential to ask your angels for better ways of viewing the feelings that keep getting triggered. Because if they're being triggered, It's never about the person doing the triggering, because they might not even know they're triggering you. And that's kind of what I'm feeling is going on here, at least with this magical child. The god of conflict resolution, you are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict, but maybe that conflict is an unresolved conflict within yourself, which in times like this, what better time to start resolving and giving yourself the love that you need, which is what twin flame contracts are all about. Because each trigger represents a healing, you are more likely to feel the presence of your angels when asking for their help to face your most difficult emotions. No one said it's easy, that's why you ask for the help of angels. In order to access angelic assistance, it is important to be with your feelings so your angels know where support is needed most. In other words, you don't say, I'm afraid, I might be afraid. You go, let me feel the fear and then ask. Let me get waist deep, at least, and then ask. This mantra is ideal for unraveling the spiritual ego, because the spiritual ego will blame you. Well, it's your vibration, and you shouldn't have eaten that, and if only you had done this. In other words, it will turn it into such constant betrayal of self that it's using spiritual principles to beat you up. That's what the spiritual ego does. Giving up patterns of avoidance, walking away, but in order to walk into doing the internal work, regardless of whether you're the divine masculine or divine feminine here. That's not running away, that's running to, that's running into, that's running toward. That's the internal work. And being a better receiver, it does make sense, asking the angels for support. It's like, help me, teach me how to even receive this support. So a very, very interesting thing here. It might be that the child wants very much the support of the shapeshifter, but because of circumstances can't do it. Might be all sorts of triggered. Let's pop up the whole picture and see where this goes, shall we? Breathe. Magic clap. We start with the divine feminine shapeshifter in the shadow attribute, projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. The light attribute, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. And keep in mind that word of potential, because it's in the magical child as well. But the divine feminine has the angel of pleasure. Take pleasure in the things you do. Now, the things you do, because you're a shapeshifter, this divine feminine might very well be about self-care, considering where we are in the planet right now, maintaining your own emotional equilibrium, even if there is a strong empathic thing going on here, keeping in mind that to take action as well. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions, and maybe that would be helpful for this magical child. Or if you're really getting, it's like, nope, I can't rescue them. This is something they have to do for themselves. You could still do it through prayer. You could still do it through blessing. There's all sorts of things, really, considering they've got miracles and blessings here. If it is in your purview and in your heart to do so, pray for this divine masculine magical child. Because looking at the divine masculine magical child here, the shadow attribute, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth, particularly in any kind of relationship. And it's interesting that say action are not required, and the divine feminine is kind of being nudged to take action. The light attribute, seeing the potential, there's that word again, for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. And I think if the child can get that by what? The god of conflict resolution, you are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict in order to get some distance, in order to get some insight, to see it differently. Then the miracles and blessings card, it will really show you the potential for sacred beauty in all things, including this twin flame contract. Miracles and blessings, everything has its gift. Feels like the god of conflict resolution will help you resolve that within yourself, but you do need to walk away for a bit. Why? Because it feels like there's a betrayal here in this center lane both ways. It might be one person really needing to take care of themselves and the other one feeling left out. I think we know who that is in this one, but could go either way. And with that thing of naughtiness, even though they may be acknowledging, yes, I need to do this for myself in order for my own psychic survival, whether it is to walk away or to take pleasure here, that there is this sense of naughty that goes on here. And keep in mind, there is a vibration of loss here, either previous to what has gone on individually, or because there is perhaps a loss of connection, a loss of communication, a loss of intimacy, a loss of togetherness, regardless of whether these are two people who were sneaking behind somebody's back to be together, betraying someone else, whether one is betraying the other, or if there's just overall this sense of betrayal from one side to the other, or both, that it's all perpetuated by feelings of loss, wounds of loss, and grief, perhaps, that were not processed. So the mantra for asking for angelic support, my angels respond when I am open and authentic about how I feel, really does speak of a mystical spiritual intervention here. The divine feminine being told to, actions speak loudly, to take actions, but the divine masculine, interestingly enough, sort of being guided within their own feminine energy to connect with the miracles and blessings. And in that, it looks like both of them are going to learn how to give themselves what they need while still being civil, supportive, perhaps even family members to each other, because at the end of the day, we are all family of the same soul. Wow. That was a lot. And a lot of emotion going on here, even though, there's no tarot, fire, earth, air, water going on. This is all oracles, this spread. I can really feel with that sense of betrayal and that sense of loss there, with that hint of naughtiness, right? To really go deep on this and ask your higher selves, your angels, your gods, your masters for help. So let me kick you off with, may the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts for April 2020, timeless and beyond. That they may heal, that they may grow, that they may experience the miracles, the blessings, and the gifts all around them and within them. That they may fulfill their roles in the divine plan, fulfill their roles in this twin flame contract, and fulfill their roles for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching, my Pisceans. My Mer family. I gotta go feed my kitties. They're starting to literally circle the table. It's a little scary. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of the month and onwards. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.